extra English practice.
Hey everyone! In this video we're going to look at two modal verbs, which are must and have to.
Yeah. Must and have to have a very similar meaning. They both mean something that is required, so like a law or a rule. In North American English in particular, must is more formal. So we will use it when it's very strong. We want to say something very strong. You must
Have a license if you want to drive a car.
Yes.
Must.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And have to, we use a lot more frequently, and it feels less formal. So, oh, I have to go to the grocery store. Right? It's something that is required. I need to do it. I don't have food right now. But it's not a rule. It's not something that the police tell me.
That's right. They're going to come and say, go to the grocery store.
And also we pronounce it usually like hafta. So must, we say it must, but have to, we will almost always shorten to hafta in spoken English.
Even though must and have to have the same meaning, often a little bit different, but very similar. Right? I must have a license if I want to drive a car. I have to have a license.
Yep.
In their negative forms, which is must not and do not or don't have to, their meaning is very different. It changes a lot with the addition of the not.
Yeah.
So must not, this is still very strict, very strong. This is still a law or a rule. You must not drive after you've been drinking. That is a very strong, strict rule. The police will come for that one. But don't have to, this means you have a choice. You don't have to. It's not necessary, but you can if you want. So for example, I don't have to listen to the radio while I'm driving. I can or I cannot. My choice.
All right, so we're going to look at a couple of scenarios, and in those scenarios, we will talk about some things we must or have to do, and some things we must not do, and things we don't have to do, to help you see the difference, especially in those negatives. So what's our scenario?
So first scenario, Larissa and I are, lucky us, going on a trip to India.
Ooh, if only this were true.
I know, I wish. And we're deciding what we should bring with us on the plane. So we're each going to bring one bag on the plane. What should we pack?
Okay, in my one bag, I must be sure to pack my passport.
She must. Also, we have to have a visa.
Yes.
Or visas to go to India. So we have to bring our visas.
And we have to bring money in some form. Credit cards or traveler's checks or cash, I don't know, but we have to have money.
We have to. We need to eat once we get there. Okay, and things we must not do if we're traveling on a plane. We must not bring any weapons in our bags.
Bad idea.
Yeah, we get kicked off.
We also must not bring liquids.
On the plane, that's true.
At least through the check-in.
And we must not, in general, bring any illegal substances, either for the plane or when we reach immigration. Not that either of us is regularly carrying illegal things.
No.
But still, must not. It's the law.
And things we don't have to bring.
Yeah. So this is a choice. We can or we cannot.
So I don't have to bring a winter jacket.
That's right.
If I want to, if I think I will be in the mountains or in the very far north, maybe I'll bring a winter jacket, but I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. We don't have to bring food. I mean, why would we want to bring food from here when we could eat food from there?
No, we're going to eat the local food.
That's right.
Yes.
So we don't have to pack any food.
And also, we don't have to bring Canadian money. Maybe we'll bring some for a snack on the way home.
Or to show people. People like to see money from other places.
But we don't have to. We don't need it.
That's right. Scenario number 2, we're going to talk about the things we must or have to do, must not do, don't have to do if we are learning a language. Useful for all of us, really.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, if I'm learning a language, I must practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Must. You have to be brave if you're learning a language. You guys know this. You have to do that all the time, I'm sure.
To learn a language, you really have to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
You learn, maybe your best learning comes from the mistakes that you make.
And you must use it. the
Yeah.
language.
Yeah,
Right? If you
absolutely.
don't use it, we have an expression in English, use it or lose it. So you must use it if you don't want to lose it.
Don't have, no,
Must not.
mustn't. When you're learning a language, you mustn't be shy,
Yeah, that's right.
because then you're not going to use it, and that was our must.
That's right. And you must not give up. Right? You have to keep trying.
Keep trying. Don't give up. Things that we don't have to do. When you're learning a language, you don't have to go to a formal school.
Yeah, that's right.
You can study at home. You can study with friends. You can study online.
Absolutely. So many options. You don't have to do the traditional way.
You don't.
You also don't have to move to a new country, right? You can learn English in your home country, even if there's not a lot of English spoken there, or whatever language.
Yeah.
I have a friend who learns Spanish, and she lives in Canada, so she hasn't moved. She didn't have to move.
Yep.
But she can learn still.
And also, when you're learning a language, you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to be perfect.
That goes along with making mistakes, right? You just try your best. You keep learning. You keep trying, and eventually you improve.
Yeah, that's the only direction it'll go.
So let's review. Have to and must mean the same thing, more or less. One is a little bit stronger than the other one. They mean things that you are required to do, either by law or you require of yourself, things you require of yourself.
Must not and don't have to have very different meanings. So must not means I am not allowed, absolutely cannot do that thing. But don't have to means it's my choice. I can, I cannot, my choice.
Yep. All right, it's your turn. In the comments, write some sentences about things you must and have to do, and must not and don't have to do if
You are trying to have a healthy lifestyle. So what are the things that will help you be healthier? Write them in the comments. We'll check them out.
we're excited to read them.
So what can you do to be healthier or be more... Sorry.
More healthy.
Yeah, it's the same.
To be
Same
healthier.
thing.
Yeah.
Extra English practice.
Hi.
I forget my part now.